Josh Alexander, now joined on the Edge Radio by Wes from the band Arpetrio. How you doing today, Wes?
Very good. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good. You guys are coming in to play a show in Evansville tonight, driving your way down. Yeah. Now for Evansville, Lamasco's, that's a venue you've played before, correct?
Yeah, we've done it twice actually. The first time with our good friend Jim Cotta, and that was just a blast. And then we went back there and played with a local band, Calabash, and both times was fantastic. A lot of good people there.
Now, is there anything in particular you like about playing that venue?
It's really intimate. You know, you just kind of, they got a sound system. You just pretty much set up in the corner of the main room of the bar, and everybody fills it in, and just pops off real nicely. Gets nice and loud in there. Yeah,
especially if you get a lot of people in there dancing. You're right up on top of the band. It's a great place to go check out some music.
Yeah, that's kind of that's one of the big pluses to doing shows like that, where people can get up close and personal with you and really interact during the show.
Now, are those the type of venues that you guys like playing? I know you're on a current tour right now. Is that how kind of all the places are set up, or do you play any bigger places, any smaller places, or is it all kind of that that intimate bar room type feel?
It really differs. We play anywhere from 15 to sometimes over 20 shows a month, and yeah, we do several different places all over the country that are just like Lamasco's, that whole intimate bar scene. But we also we play in rooms that can fit around 200 to 300 people. Every so often, right now, we'll get those gigantic stadium style rooms that hold over 1,000 people. And those are always really fun, because it's kind of like a culture shock being on a huge stage with a big sound system.
Yeah. Now we know Evansville is going to be your number one, but what's your second favorite place to play?
Our favorite place?
Yeah. It could either be a venue or just a city that's treated you well when you guys have been there.
Well, my go-to, I would say, is Knoxville, just because that's our home. We always have a fantastic time there. But that aside, up in the Northeast in Worcester, Massachusetts, we've been there twice, and both times it's just been an amazing experience with a very responsive crowd. A lot of people just out having a great time, and it's great to be able to go that far away from home and just have so many people come out and be supportive of it.
Is there any place that you haven't played yet that you would like to, or that's on your wish list?
Oh yeah, pretty much anywhere out west. Getting out to Colorado is becoming a must for the electronic music scene. We haven't had the opportunity to get out there yet, but definitely look forward to when we do. We're building up to it for sure.
Now, you're kind of a jam, electronic fusion type band. How would you explain your live shows to our listeners that may have never seen you guys, or not familiar with your type of music?
Well, it's we consider ourselves just live electronic dance rock, and it's all the elements of a live band with a live drum kit, bass guitar, electric guitar. We got keyboards. But then to add on to all that, we all have computers on stage, so we have the production software running while we play on top of the music we've spent hours and hours designing to pretty much create this big wall of sound. And the guitarist and I actually link up our computers, so they're pretty much like a dual producer set with overlapping samples and stuff like that going on throughout the whole set, while we pretty much lay the instrumentation on top of it. And it can range anywhere from kind of a rock and roll feel to a jazzy feel. We do house, kind of hip hop, throw some dubstep in there, and we really just try and slap that whole spectrum around throughout the show, try and hit as many different areas as we can as far as music genres go.
And you say you try to set up a wall of sound, and that's kind of reminiscent of what the Grateful Dead called their sound equipment. Did you draw any influences from like the old school psychedelic jam band type scene, or is that something that you guys try to fit into your music as well, or is it more so the newer electronic, the hip hop, the jazz type vibe?
Me personally, the first really electronic stuff I started listening to was Sound Tribe Sector 9.
Okay.
When I was like, I don't know, I want to say like 18 years old maybe. Then there was the Numa Trio was a big influence in kickstarting our electronic minds, I guess. I guess we've all kind of been into different kinds of like psychedelic rock, like Fish and String Cheese Incident, and then some of us used to listen to heavy metal and just, I don't know, kind of a bunch of different things, and we all kind of fell into this electronic scene all at once and just fell in love with it, really started to explore it, and just found so many different things that we liked about it. And then, you know, the music that you like, the music that you listen to kind of eventually brings itself out. So we've come from just drums, bass guitar, and electric guitar to what we are right now, which is pretty much a lot of electronics going on, everybody double tasking,
now,
trying to make that show as good as we can.
Is that something that took a lot of practicing to do that, to get that multitasking on stage? I know it's hard enough to get up there and play an instrument live, and then when you're trying to throw the computer effects onto it, is that something that you guys had to, you know, kind of reteach yourselves after, you know, you probably knew how to play your instruments, and then going into this multitasking thing? How much practice, and, you know, did that take you to get ready to bring that onto a live show?
Well, in our earlier years, when we were living in Knoxville and the other two guys were in college full time, we would pretty much practice as much as we possibly could in all of our free time. And, you know, we slowly started just like adding a keyboard, adding a computer, and then just kind of starting to up our game on the electronics. And just as we got ideas of different things we could do, you know, we add a new piece to it. Yeah, we practice like crazy and get whatever we're doing with it down. And really, I mean, some of it came out as just kind of experimenting, seeing what we could do, and go ahead and just throwing it into the live shows, which kind of forces you to adapt to it and grow with it.
Now, do you ever do any of that experimentation on stage? Do you do any improvisation on your live shows?
Yeah, we have our songs are to an extent like pretty structured as far as how we maneuver through them, and there's definitely like sections of every song where, you know, Alex could go off on guitar and or keys and kind of do his own thing, improv, and we can all, you know, see when, you know, like that time's up and move to the next one, or, you know, we can pretty much do however, the way we have it like mapped out, how we perform, it allows us to pretty much be a electronic jam band. So we're not really tied down to anything when we're playing. We can definitely do improv over most of our stuff.
Yeah, you have that base, but then anything could be stretched out if it needed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, you guys, you recently released a new EP, This Side Up. Why don't you talk about the recording process for that? And
it's actually coming out tomorrow is when it will be made available to the public.
Tomorrow, okay.
And, we're playing in Knoxville for the release show, which we're very excited about.
Now, you released on your website the two singles, the first two singles off of it. How many songs in total are going to be on the EP?
There are 7 tracks on there.
Okay.
But pretty much there's 6 songs. One of them is split up into 2 parts, or 2 tracks, because it's a pretty long song.
All right, and when where did you record this EP at?
We do it all ourselves with the same production software we use to write music and to perform live. We also use to do all of our recording and mixing and mastering, and so we kind of takes away that giant cost of going into a studio, which is helpful, and we can pretty much do it on our own time, at our own speed, and make sure it's a product that we're happy with, and we can put it out when we're ready for it.
Now, is there a certain theme for this side up, or a certain direction that the music was going, or was any like I said, any certain direction that you wanted to go with the EP, or is it just kind of a grab bag of all your different stuff, or is there?
Yeah, well, I'd say it's a pretty diverse EP. There's a lot of stuff going into it, as far as like, I guess, different genres go. Because it's definitely got some dubstep, some house, some of that new the trap house style stuff that we kind of try and make our own and spice it up a little bit. And there's like rock, and it really, every song is just, in my opinion, so much different from the next. So I'm really excited to get that out, just to kind of show that we can really kind of take you in any direction.
Now, that EP coming out tomorrow, is there any full-length album in the works, or any talks of a full-length album?
Down the line, definitely. We really like to do, we did the EP because we kind of have music, like, we write pretty quickly, and it kind of just, like, starts piling up, so we really like to get it pretty much on paper and out to the public as quick as we can. And I really can't say for sure if our next EP or album will be like full length, or if we'll stick with another EP for the next release. That'll probably that decision will probably come to fruition in the next couple months, I imagine.
Now, if any of our listeners wanted to check out that EP, that's going to be available through your website?
Yes, you can just go to arpetrio.com and click on the music tab, or you could just go to arpetrio.bandcamp.com, and that will take you directly to where you can get the free download link.
Okay. Now, personally, do you prefer playing live, or do you prefer being in the studio making music?
I absolutely love writing, like creating, composing music. I love that, but I'm pretty sure I can speak for all of us when I say we enjoy the live performance the most. It is just a really fun, amazing experience, and kind of like, it's almost like that's our relaxed time when we're on stage performing, because we work really hard to pretty much write, make sure we're tight, so everything during that performance is on point and goes smoothly for everybody watching, and that's really the rewarding part about it.
And if you want to catch Arpetrio tonight, they'll be in town at Lamasco's. Thank you, Wes, for taking time to sit down and chat with me today.
Hey, thank you so much for calling me, man. Hey, this is Wes from Arpetrio, and you are listening to Southern Indiana's Triple Threat, The Edge.